Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hey, it's Jim Chapman reminding you that if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. 1, it's free. 2, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. 3, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's really everything you need to make a podcast in only one place. It makes it easy, folks. So do me a favor, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So what do you do when you decide to open a business of an increasingly popular franchise? You fall in love with the owners, the concept, the product, and the branding. You get approval not only to buy the franchise, but be the first person or the first owners in the state of Louisiana to have a piece of that franchise. And in the middle of it, boom, pandemic. If you believe in your business, you move forward. If your fiancé is Jimmy Miller, who does not go backwards, you move forward. And if you're Kelly Webster, who's a strong, proud female business owner with the very first AR workshop in the state of Louisiana, then you better believe you move forward. Kelly's location in Baton Rouge adds to the over 150 nationwide locations. And today's episode is going to be all about this new concept that adds a major twist to the old cork and canvas businesses you may be used to. We're going to talk about that and a lot more with this power couple. So with that, welcome Jimmy Miller and Kelly Webster to Local Leaders, the podcast.
Man, that was, wow. Whoa.
You move forward, baby.
Is he talking about us?
Exactly.
Man, you make it sound good.
I love it.
Well, I love it.
I told you would.
I love it.
So with this episode, there's a lot I want to unpack with both of you. First, Miss Kelly Webster, I want to discuss how you first arrived at business ownership with AR Workshop. So tell us a little bit about the company and how you came to find this franchise.
Well, I lived in Atlanta for about 20 years, moved over there in 2000, and just recently moved back this year. And we'll get into that, I'm sure, a little bit later. But so I lived in Atlanta for a while. There's about 5 of these around the Atlanta area. And a friend of mine went to a class for team building with her business. And she made a pet bed, loved it, showed it to me, got a brochure. I loved it, went and did a class, and really just fell in love with it and kind of, forgot about it for a minute. And then about a year later, it kind of came around again. She had her son's birthday party there, I think it was. Yep. And it came around again. And then Jimmy and I started talking about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to investigate it just for fun. Let me just see. I love the concept. I love the products. It's stuff that I would actually put in my house. Let's just investigate it just for fun. And that was on a Thursday. And then by that Sunday, I was like, I think we should do this. And he was like, let's do it. And then we decided to move back home.
She showed it to me. She goes, well, you know, what do you think about this? And I was like, again, just on the surface, obviously. And you know me. I mean, I'm, you know, she investigates, she's analytical, she's looking, you know, and I'm just looking at the surface. Oh, let's go. Where are we going to do it? Let's do it. That's it. Sounds great. Let's go.
And you were probably like, slow down.
That's what I needed. Because, I mean, but really once I kind of decided I wanted to do it, I knew we were going to do it.
Yeah. But, and there was nothing that along the way that, you know, there are obstacles like anything else. Sure. You're trying to create, or you're trying to open a business, or trying to, with goals, you know, and there's always obstacles, and not everybody's meant to have a business. Not everybody's meant to run a business, and, or anything else for that matter. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to do something at that level and these obstacles start coming, and then you face a few, and then if you don't move forward, then you weren't meant to have it. You know, right. And then that's how a lot of the process kind of weeds people out. Yeah, and so in this whole process, regardless of the COVID thing or this move-in and all, there's not been one thing. She has faced all kind of hurdles, but she has overcome. She's adapted. She's improvised. She's done whatever she's had, but nothing has stopped the process. Nothing ever stopped the process, and that's how we kind of knew that it was meant to be.
So, Kelly, how with business, one thing I notice is that someone told me a long time ago, if you got to think that hard about something, it's probably not the right decision. That's pretty much a key. And it seems like you kind of knew pretty quickly that this is something you wanted to pursue.
That is really a way that I just live my life in general. With most decisions, I just decide. I feel like I follow my instincts, follow my gut. And I did that. But really, the more I investigated it, the more I found out about it, talked to the ownership and, a lot of the folks at corporate, and just everything that I found out was positive and, was one more step toward, I think this is something we could do, that we would be the first one in Louisiana. I was like, it just gave us an opportunity to both move back to our hometown and bring this to Baton Rouge. I was like, there's really not any signs telling us not to do this. Again, this started probably October of, a couple of years ago. So, I mean, it's been about a year and a half ago, I would say. It feels like it was forever before we actually got, to this point. But, and
there was a lot of sort of speed bumps along the way with COVID and those sorts of things that really would kind of slow you down. But in doing my research for AR Workshop, which, from the first time I saw it, I thought, what a concept, what a great idea. The business owners of AR Workshop are two females.
Yes.
These
incredible,
like powerhouse females. They are dynamite.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about these females is they had an Etsy shop, and they basically would make items. They were designers. Mm-hmm. They would make items and they would put them on their Etsy shop. It became one of the most popular Etsy shops probably in the world. And they also had a blog. It was a do-it-yourself blog. Yeah. And so they built that. They started somewhere and then they scaled it. And then it became, I wonder what would happen if we opened a store. And wow, 3 years later.
3 years later.
150 plus locations.
That just goes to show you as far as their intensity, their attitude, and they are just full on, just let's do it.
They're dynamite.
But they're dynamite. They really are. But but they also keep it at a level that's it's manageable without a doubt.
Yeah, and that's where the name comes from. It's not from a gun.
No, it's not.
Anders and Ruff are the last names of the owners. AR Workshop is obviously the first letter of those last names. But it's funny because when I first saw it, and I have a friend who owns a pawn shop, when he first saw it, he's like, "Oh man, they got a place to repair ARs."
Yeah, exactly.
So don't freak out if somebody starts bringing rifles in there.
We've had that.
They've had several people, I've seen it online, say, "Oh, I thought it was a new gun shop," or we come do it yourself, yourself assault rifles.
There you go. Well, you can put their name on it if nothing else.
Right, exactly. We can paint their name on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
So, Kelly, when you decided, okay, you talked to Jimmy, and of course he's a positive person, and it made sense, and y'all decided this we're going to run with it. You spoke, I would imagine, to the owners, and did you do some training there or kind of see how everything went? Tell me about that.
Yeah, we did get to go to the flagship store in Pineville, North Carolina. He and I both went. We spent a week there, met the majority of the corporate leadership team, and got to kind of see how they set up, just the corporate offices, which are really nice. They've got a really nice setup, of course. And the whole team is, I can't say enough. They're so available, supportive on top of, all of the work that they're already doing to keep us current and to keep us, with plenty of options, with COVID, without COVID. We've got so many things to offer, and that's because of them. But at the same time, they're so available. They each gave out their cell phone numbers to all of us. You don't get that from the CEO of a company very often. And, so we really learned a lot, but mostly we got to, just really spend some time with the people. And so their passion feeds our passion, and it just really, led to.
Yeah, I was blown away.
And there's that word again. Almost every episode when I talk to people that they're born business owners in a way, the word passion comes out almost every episode. And I never ask for it. It just comes out. And that's really the key when you're running a business, in my opinion, is you've got to have some passion for it, because you're going to work some long nights. You're going to, there's nothing easy about owning a small business. So you gotta love what you're doing. It's obvious. I spent some time, me and my wife went there last week, spent some time with you and all your great employees over there, and it seems like you're all passionate.
We have a really great team. I've been very lucky. I have the greatest manager. It just kismet. That worked out perfectly the way that, she and I were friends in high school, and just timing in her life and mine, it just worked out perfectly. It could not be a better fit.
Awesome.
So yeah,
we managed the DIY type of place for a little bit as well.
She's an artist herself. And so it's really, it's been, I'm telling you, like I said, everything just falls into place. There have just been no, knock on wood, no signs that we should not be doing this.
Yeah. And her name is
Grace.
Yeah.
Her name is Grace.
Love that name.
Yeah, Grace is amazing.
Well, and all of them, over there were just I was very impressed by that. So you trained, you found a location, you started a build out, and then March hit.
Yes, then March hit.
And like many business owners, you found out, businesses are shutting down. Everybody's got to stay at home. You weren't even open yet.
No. And we were already behind.
But but at the same time, it really getting open, and as we both agreed that we weren't going to turn the lights on until everything was flawless and perfect. And it all hinged on the grand opening. Everything to that point with the company and prep, getting you ready and helping, and everything, the whole process is the grand opening. Because once the grand opening happens, you have everything else in place to go to do the workshop. Everything should be perfect. And it just kind of, a couple times it just fell back a little bit, but at the time, we felt like, we didn't feel like we'd be ready at this point. So let's not, let's back it up till August. Let's back it up to, the next month. And then it really, it kind of helped us out.
Well, you only have one chance to make that first impression.
Exactly.
That's it, and so it's good that, and I'll tell you, you go in there, one of the things that impressed me most about your location and really about the company in general is the branding is top notch, even down to the company colors, which are it's a beautiful kind of tealish color.
Aqua. It's
and,
aqua.
I'm a color guy. Yeah.
Aqua.
Yeah. Beautiful color.
Yes,
beautiful
it
color.
Is.
And so even the lighting, you have some, I notice all this stuff, believe it or not. And the lighting that you have in the top, it's kind of these can lights that are vintage and just sets the whole place off. So one of the most interesting things is you have it's a rack where you would hang your aprons after you were done in the workshop, and it's hammers that hold the aprons. I thought that was the cutest thing.
It's really cute with aqua handles.
With aqua handles. That's right.
All of that stuff is huge, and all of that makes a good impression. It's the little details.
Really. Because
Yeah.
every time I go in there, I see something different every time, because, I'm not in there every day,
Right.
obviously. And, and they're forever changing, putting up new samples, we call samples, which is just basically, a project,
Sure.
a sample of the project. And they're always having new ones. And there's just, and with the seasons and everything. And it's just, to me, it just changes. And then I'll just notice something, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Or a new retail piece mixed in with one of the samples. It just, I love it.
Yeah.
And they really pay attention to it.
Made an impression for me and my wife, and I'm sure everybody that walks in
The
there.
environment. It's got to be, if you're coming in there to create something, you have to have an environment that inspires creation, right?
That's right.
And so to me it does.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing I notice about you two is you bounce off each other extremely well. Sometimes when you get in business, if you're a couple or whatever, you don't want two people that think exactly alike, because then there is not any kind of
We don't.
difference.
You don't have to worry about that.
Don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Well,
all that we do on the important stuff, obviously, and it's all important. Don't get me wrong, but I know what you're saying.
Well, when it's right, it's right,
Yeah.
and everybody's going to agree.
Exactly.
But when it's not right, it's always good to have that different opinion of somebody who's going to give you an honest opinion, one way or the other. And so that's fantastic. Which I want to speak to you for a second, and I'll tell you a little bit about this guy for those of you. He's the kind of the other half of this dynamic duo. This is Jimmy Miller. Now, this guy is actually how I came to discover AR Workshop. So Jimmy and I have known each other for 33 years. Played football together at Broadmoor Middle Lane High School. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks, baby.
And having been around Jimmy all of those years, one thing I can say is if there's ever someone that was a natural leader, it's this guy right here.
Well, I appreciate that.
So to tell the viewers more about you, I'm going to tell about you because I know about you. I don't need you to tell about you. To tell the viewers a little more about you, you were the leader of our middle school football team. We lost like one game in 2 years. We went to high school. You lettered as a freshman. By the time you were finished, you were one of the leaders of the Broadmoor High Bucks that led them to the quarterfinals twice, semifinals once, and the berth in the state championship game your senior year, 1992. In the classroom, you were a leader, having graduated with honors. And just
She
because,
doesn't believe that. I tell you.
Oh, he was smart, man.
He is.
Still is.
He still is.
So just because your leadership skills you felt probably weren't sharp enough, you decided to enroll in the Marine Corps and serve your country. So I say all that to say this. Leaders make an impact, even when they don't know they're doing it. One of my favorite quotes is, leaders don't create followers, they create leaders. Okay, so I have a distinct example of this. Yeah, I hadn't told you this story yet. We were probably about 16, maybe, and I don't even recall the gist of what we were talking about, but I'll never forget the words you said to me. You said to me, I'm an individual, I'm not a follower. Now, in those days, much unlike these days, I was shy. But that impact, that single sentence I had, I carry to this day because I knew it was okay to be me.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
That was huge.
That's right.
For me.
Awesome.
So you weren't done yet, though, with me, were you, Jimmy? Many years later, I was a young sales rep working for a paint manufacturer. Now, we had the best product, the best service, but we kind of struggled to get our name out there. Yet again, you influenced me in a positive way by building your personal training business to enormous heights by doing what no one at that time was doing. You were using Facebook for business. That taught me a lesson. It taught me that I could compete with the world by copying you. So I copied you. I copied you to a T, built my territory to astronomical heights, and primarily because of the lessons you taught me, because you didn't even know you were doing it. That's what made you a leader. You led me and didn't even know it. It's been a long time coming, but I really am honored to sit across from you and say thank you for that.
Well, the honor's mine, my man, and to be able to, pay it back, as you say, that that you didn't have to. that you have us here is it means the world to us, and it means the world to me. And I'm so proud of everything that you've done and what I've seen that you've done. And I'm not going to take any credit for that, but it is phenomenal what you've evolved to, man. I'll tell you what, what you've evolved to. And that whole thing, that really, out of all of it, I love that you felt like you could be yourself, because I feel like in life, if you can't be yourself, and not everybody's going to like it, and that's okay. As long as you treat people how you want to be treated, which is the most important thing. But if you treat people how you want to be treated and you want to be yourself, and somebody's got a problem with that, then you don't need to be around them anyways, know. But I'm glad that it really makes me feel great that I was part of that. Well, part of that path. But at the same time, you had the intuition or the instincts or whatever to follow it. And so many people, I feel, in business and just in life, that they discard peer influence in a positive way, meaning like somebody, because you have a peer, somebody your age or in the same thing, you're not going to do the things, even if they're successful, just out of spite, because you don't want to give them the credit, or you don't want to make them feel like, well, they can take credit for what I've done, Mm-hmm. And I think so much of what people disregard as far as business and things is what your peers are already doing. Yeah. And just like you said, just simulate them. Just,
That's exactly what I did.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
No doubt about it.
If you see it's working for somebody.
You have very good vision. And that's a huge quality, and y'all will carry that in this business, and I'm happy to see that, because you need somebody with that to really build it. But you're a leader, man, and you made me a leader along the way.
Well, and look, hey, I'm glad I can sit across from you. Hey, you're on there. Hey, again, it's one of those things where you look at, when I just talk about fate or just part of that path, where things were supposed to happen the way they should. Yeah. Where they say everything happens for a reason. I like to say everything happens the way it should, because sometimes I can't really see the reason, but things happen the way they should. And anyways,
life comes full circle.
It does. And just and like I said, and being able to come on here, and when I saw you doing this, and I watched the first couple of episodes, and I was just like, man, Jimmy, I was saying, he is killing it. Just you could tell the research you've done, just the whole the production of everything, it just there was nothing. Well, again, you get well enough to say, I can't do it all by myself, but I'm gonna get the best people I know to help.
That's right. That's right. And that's what it's all about. Yeah. It's and the guests, and they make it easy for me, because they all have stories, including you great folks. So, in relation to all that, one more question for you, because you're kind of a natural born marketer and promoter. How important do you think that is for a new business to promote and market their business effectively?
You've got to just do it almost at an obscene level, almost to where and she's good about, because did I say it right? Obscene?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. At an obscene level.
It's very obscene.
Almost an embarrassing level of self-promotion.
Yeah, to where, again, with the old, you have to think, because I didn't want to really say, we talk about the old training business. I didn't really want, I used to look at people that would put their names on stuff, Jim something, this and that, this guy, I don't know, whatever it is. Put their names and their faces all over everything, and there's like certain people here that do a lot of that. Sure. But the thing is I looked at that, but then when I learned through remarkable people in advertising that if you've established your name and your face as that business, then you got to put it, because that's the only way people know.
You're branding yourself.
You're branding yourself. And that's what I did for 20 years. And then when I wanted to call my personal training business something completely different, I had a client like, what are you doing? This is insane. I don't even know. I look at the name of this business and I don't even know that it has anything to do with fitness or anything to you. And I said something about my website being Jimmy Miller Fit Pro. And she goes, what is wrong with that? Jimmy Miller, it's who you are, Fit Pro, and she's like, you're insane. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And so realtors figured that out a long time ago.
Absolutely. And a lot of people didn't. That's what I'm saying, and that's where I would like maybe go, oh, why is this guy? He's so conceited. But it wasn't a vain thing, and if it is, that's fine too. But most people that out there doing that type of marketing put their names on something is because that's what people know. Yeah. People know that person. People know that face. And it's not of anything. They just put it together with that. And so you have to go with that, you know? Agree. And so I think as a business, as a small business, you can't. And then like I was telling you about referrals, you know, once I got my personal training business to where I only were taking referrals. Like if a client moved on, I'd have 2 more in the wings waiting to come on and train with me, and they were, you know, recommended by another client. And I got to a point where that is, but even to that point, I still didn't stop any of the promotion, and you can't. No. You still gotta put it out there because again, and especially in today's business world with social media,
it's all about consistency.
Consistency, and also and what you're paying.
Frequency,
really, the frequency, yeah. And again, you can't leave it up to anything. You've got to cover it all.
Agreed.
You've got to cover it all.
Agreed. Now, Miss Kelly.
Yes.
So you finally opened those doors 7 weeks ago.
Yes.
And you introduced AR Workshop to the area. Because this is the very first AR workshop in Louisiana, I want to familiarize everybody with the process that I personally think streamlines everything, makes it easy, you know, for the millions and millions of viewers watching right now. Millions. Trust me.
I love it. Yes.
Where would they start?
They are going to start online. Really, our website is where all of the information lives. The schedule for our workshops is going to be online. Social media as well. We do have an Instagram. We do have a Facebook at AR Workshop Baton Rouge. But the website is going to be where clients will go to register for whatever date they want to come in. We typically will publish a month's worth of workshops at a time with different sort of themes on different days. And within that workshop, they will then decide what type of project they want to make. For example, if it's a wood workshop, do they want to make a framed sign? Do they want to make a plank sign, pet bed, serving tray, blanket ladder? I mean, there's a million options just within the wood workshop. And then once you pick the type of project, then you choose the type of design that you want. And when I say there's hundreds and hundreds of designs, I mean, there are so many things to choose from. There's, you know, state and city specific designs. There are lots of, you know, monograms and name designs. There's wedding, there's holidays, there's pet. I mean, there's something for everybody. And it's not all one design style. It's not going to be all like farmhouse or rustic or country or whatever. I mean, there's literally something for everybody.
It's almost overwhelming, and you're looking through it. I mean, it could be, but it's not.
In a good way.
In a good way, right? I mean,
absolutely, in a good way.
Yes, it's really fun, and every time you look, it's like you go and you're going to make this, but then you see what you want to make next time you come in, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's happened to me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean,
like, I want to make that.
Right. It's really, I mean, there's literally, that was part of what attracted me to it, because I will admit I'm a little bit, I don't always want something homemade looking, you know, on display in the house. And what I really love about what we do is that it's so foolproof. I mean, you are going to leave with something that looks professional. It looks...
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month. A savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
great, and you're going to love putting it in your house or giving it as a gift, but the process is so much fun, and you get to do it yourself all the way from, choosing the design and the colors. And then, if there's, nailing or stapling or, using a drill or whatever it is, you get to do all of that too. Yep. And so it just makes it really fun, and you get that little hey, I did that myself. Look what I made. We all turn into like elementary school kids. Like, I made this. Yeah, and it's so fun.
I was like that. I made some. The ornaments, top quality.
So cute.
Yeah.
Top quality.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So it is, because I'm not an artist.
Yeah,
we have amazing friends and people in this region that are amazing artists. Have amazing pieces that you could go and buy. And. But with this, again, this is just, but not everybody, can do that or
even has a desire
to do it.
They want to play with wood.
Exactly. Right. And where do you start? And this is here. It kind of just allows, somebody that, never figured they'd have that opportunity to give them that opportunity.
Without having to buy all the equipment and the colors and this. I mean, you could spend $1 million just getting ready to make your project, before you even know if that's something you want to do. Yeah. At home. So this allows you. Exactly. Yeah, I have too. I've done that too. So, this just gives you an opportunity. And again, it's, men love it, women love it. We've got plenty of options for kids. So, I mean, it's really a fun family place. I mean, you just can't get.
There's no doubt about it. And, I've been on your website, and you can go and you hit calendar. And the good thing is you've got like a month out. Yeah. So you can plan it. It's not like, okay, this is what we're doing today and tomorrow, and then check with us in 2 days and we'll show you the next 2 days.
Right.
You've got a month there that you can plan something, as these individual project days are released and those sorts of things. So you pick let's say you pick a date, and it is a woodworking shop class, and you enroll in it at that point, so you can actually enroll online?
You can. You will register, what we call it, register online, and from there, it just walks you through the steps of picking your project and then your design, any specifics, notes. We can do custom designs with, a little bit of lead time. We can do custom designs for you. Yep. So, it walks you all the way through the process.
I love that too, because one of the things with enrolling, when I think of going somewhere new, I don't know the wait time. I don't know. I mean, am I going to show up and I'm going to have to wait for the next class? Or it's almost like you're booking your spot.
You're booking your spot.
Exactly. When you enroll, you've got a seat for that person. Mm-hmm. Ain't no way. You walk in at that time and you're in.
That's right.
You're in. That's a good thing and a big perk. I love that about that business. Now, you cater to many types of clientele. Do you offer group events?
We do offer group events. You can book private parties on site, whether it be a child's birthday party, again, a team building event for your company, or, if you've got a girls' night that you want to host, we can do.
Or a men's night.
Or a men's night. I apologize. Yes. The dudes need a spot to hang too. So yes, you can do that. We've got a couple of different options. You can reserve the whole space and just make it exclusively for your party. Or if you just want to make sure that you have 1 or 2 tables within the workshop, but you don't mind other people being in the class as well, then that's an option too. So yeah, we can even go on site. We actually have an event coming up on the 17th of December. We're going on site to do, we're expecting maybe 50 people. 50. Yeah. So, we've got options to come to you, which makes it even easier.
Really cool. Right.
We've got virtual options. If you aren't comfortable getting out in a group just yet, we can send the kits to your house, and then your whole group can get on a Zoom call and we can lead a workshop that way. Or you can do-it-yourself kits at home without even having to get on a group. So, I mean, we have so many. I know I kind of went on a tangent, but we've got so many options.
Bridal shower.
Yes, bridal showers.
One of the things I thought of, homeschooling's getting obviously more and more popular, especially with COVID. And what would be better than to get a group of homeschoolers together and they all go to AR Workshop and get some art credits?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've talked a lot about that. And again, we're still so new that we're trying to get with a lot of these different groups and kind of figure out who to talk to and how to get in there. But we have so many fun options for kids. Yeah, good. I'm relying on that. I'm relying on that. But yeah, I mean, we did a little day camp during the Thanksgiving break. We had 3 days with kids camps while they were out of school, and we'll do that again over the Christmas holiday. Summer camps we do. So I mean, it's a really fun way to have something for your kids to do when they're not in school, or if they're homeschooled and you just need, some art credits, or you want to have a place for them to come hang out for a few hours in the day. And then you can drop them off. You don't have to stay. You can go run some errands or get a little, coffee break in. While your kids are making some cool stuff, and they love it.
Well, and you even offer things like date nights.
We have one coming up.
Let me tell you, it's hard to get a dude in most cases to go to like a corking canvas. They'll go maybe one time, but you tell them, hey, we're going to make projects today.
We got some drills.
You're going to make a project.
Guns.
Yes.
Right.
Most guys are going to be all in.
Yeah.
And so that's something that really separates your business, is that it's appealing to both sexes. And so I want to show people kind of some of these projects and let them get an idea of what they are. You brought some stuff with you. I don't know if somebody can grab that. Maybe Jimmy, if you can do that. We'll just talk about you while you're gone.
You do that. Right over here. And what would y'all like first?
Whatever y'all think. They're all great.
Coming in?
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
You want to...
So what would we call that?
This we call a porch sign. This is a 12 by 48 unframed porch sign is specifically what that's called.
Happy holidays, Miller.
Watch this.
And what is cool about double-sided.
Double-sided.
So, I mean, we have the option to do one side in a class. Every now and then we'll do a specialty class where, you can do both sides. It's just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Typically a workshop's going to be about 3 hours start to finish. The double-sided, maybe 3.5. And we've got canvas projects, we've got wall hangings, we've got pillowcases. This is just one of the tote bags. We actually did this for one of the kids' camps. They did tote bag designs, which was really cute. And I mean, they're like legit, like heavy. You can use it. It's not gonna fall apart tomorrow. Speaking of men,
love that.
At our sort of pre-grand opening friends and family party, we had a guy.
Jeff Ross.
Shout out.
Rosie.
Rosie. Yes, made that. Did a little technique on the silver to make it look like a saw blade.
Yeah, that looks really good, actually.
You killed it.
And if you're not artistically inclined, we've got assistants at every table that can help you with color suggestions, or because not everybody in the workshop is going to be doing the same project. That's part of what's cool about it.
Last night.
Now, what do they call those?
This is called a chunky knit blanket. Thank you. Chunky knit blanket. Can I tell you, these classes have been so popular. People are loving it, and I get it, because these are, you can make it in a night, which is super cool. I mean, I did this one because I wanted an LSU Colors one, so I did this one last night.
Or Local Leaders Colors.
That's right, or local, I know, sorry. Purple and gold, it's so pretty together. And,
it is.
People are loving it, and they're so cozy. They're fun to give as gifts, and,
Yeah, my wife went by and, touched one last week, and she's like, those things are so soft.
They're legit warm.
Of a kids project, but the string art.
Yeah.
Love that.
So, it's just a stencil-based wood project, but then we've got a little string art part to it, which is really fun. This is a 10 by 10. We do it in 12 by 16 as well. I know I'm starting to be a person that can tell you what size the wood is with just looking at it. I've never been that person before, so yeah.
Well, there's a ton of things. Obviously, this is just, folks, the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, exactly.
There are a ton of things, but there's something for everybody.
There is literally something for everybody. And again, what is cool about it, as opposed to maybe like a corking canvas, not everybody in the workshop is going to be doing the same project or the same design. So that's kind of part of what's fun. You get to see what somebody else is doing, see how cool they're making a tray and you're making a frame sign. And so you're like, oh, what would be cool is that tray would look so good on my island, or my mom's been looking for one of those and Mother's Day is coming up. Let me make one of those for her. And it's the
really guests that kind of inspire one another.
Yeah. I still get so every time I'm at a workshop, I love it. There's always, because we get to see when people register, And I'm always like, what are they going to do? And it's always so fun to see everyone's interpretation of a design, that I've seen a lot, maybe over, the last several months, just getting prepped, but I've never seen it done in that way. They put a little spin on it that I wouldn't have thought of. And I get it's so fun every time.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of a good percentage of the people that listen to this show, just because I know a lot of them, are realtors. And so I was playing around on the website and I came across realtor closing gifts. Yeah. There's like 1 million, and they are all awesome. So all you realtors out there,
yes,
this would be a great place to make your closing gifts, or you can even just order them pre-made.
Yeah, that is part of what we do for realtor closing gifts. For really for any of our projects, you can, if you don't want to come make it yourself or you don't have time to do it, all you have to do is place the order again from the website, and we'll make it for you. We'll talk to you about what you want, color-wise and design-wise, and we'll make it for you in a couple of days, and you can come pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, they got the welcome home signs, they've got frame signs, they've got address pillows,
yes,
all these kind of things. Y'all even make sold signs for realtors to put in front of their house.
We have signs that you can put out in an open house that are really cute. So it's not just for closing gifts. We've got some stuff you can use, yourself.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I think that's a great niche right there. But all of the things that you have there, we actually, I can speak from experience. I was there last week. We did Christmas ornaments. Yeah. And these were one of the more simpler projects, thank goodness, for me. But we made these Christmas ornaments, and I am no artist when it comes to that. I'm good at painting walls and stuff, but I can, you get into projects, it's a little tough for me. But I'll tell you what, I look like a pro when I was done. I'm very proud of my ornament. I stuck it way up on the Christmas tree, almost to the top. And
as you should, right?
My wife's definitely looked better, but mine was a close second.
I remember that little purple nose.
So one of the cool things is that you do take home projects. Yes. So you don't have to, people out there, all my listeners, go in, and if you don't have 3 hours to spend, you can get them to go. You can bring them home, and you can do something with the family. Maybe your kids are younger, you don't want to bring them out, but you do offer show. You should kind of hold those up, and we'll show the camera those.
We've got these are our prepackaged ornament kits. This is you can't really see the pictures, are pretty small, but these are like the round round wood slices, and then we've got some what they're calling traditional square wood ornaments. And again, there's 6 different themes within each type of ornament, and it comes with everything that you need, from wood to stencils to paint and sponges and sandpaper and even the ribbon and twine to hang it on your tree. It's all in this little box.
The interesting thing about the DIY to go, and this is what blew me away when we were about to move here, we had already been to the corporate training. And like I said, I was really impressed when she brought everything to me, and she's like, what do you think about it? I was like, and then when we went to the corporate training, when I saw how everything operated, when I saw just the intensity, I just saw the passion, absolutely, the passion and the attention to detail, and just these amazing people, women, working and just on point. I was just blown away. So when COVID hit and everything started to slow down, and we were just about to move, and one of the owners of the franchise on the message board on the online had an idea about the DIY to go. Literally watched within a week, 5 days, this company come up with this whole process of projects small enough that you could pick it out, pick the paint, pick the sand, pick the stain, pick the color, pick the design, and then put it in a bag, and then we will have it ready for you. You pull up at the door, boom, 5 days. 5 days.
Yeah,
they had the promotion, so fast, they had the marketing, they had everything. I was like,
that's what a bunch of women are doing for you.
Right? We get stuff done.
You get them motivated.
Right.
It's all
when they said, when everybody's like, oh, nobody's coming, we're about to be shut down, they were like, okay, how about DIY to go? And then it's evolved, and now you got to, Now they've just taken it.
It's a fantastic idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially in these times.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
to have that kind of corporate support where they're not going to leave you out there to fend for yourself, you know, which, I mean, I know it.
What's cool is they own and run and go into their workshops every day too.
Yeah.
So they see what's going on. They're not sitting in their offices, not in the trenches anymore. So they know what problems were. They're the first ones on the phone with the vendors. They're the first one, you know, so I mean, they're quick to offer support, and they did not have DIY to go. That was not a thing before March of this year. Wow. You know, as we were, like I said, getting ready to pack up to move here, and panic was just about to set in because it was like, what are we going to do? This is brand new. DIY to go. I mean, I didn't even have to have my brick and mortar ready before I could do this.
And you were probably sitting there the whole time. That's no problem.
Oh yeah,
no problem.
Which is good because I'm thinking of all the things that are about to go wrong, and he's telling me, you know, it's all going to be fine. So yeah. Exactly.
I've got a little story, you know. When there was a couple of moments, like I feel like anybody opening up a sizable business or whatever, you know, trying to do something on a significant level, you're going to have those moments where you're just like, what am I doing? You know, what is going, you know, and she was having one of those moments, and she was just, you know, and I said, well, let me ask you. I said, what's the worst thing that could happen? Right. What if we do this? If we go all in, what's the worst thing that could happen?
You were probably like, homeless.
I was like, we'd have to get jobs again.
Everything. She goes, we lose everything. And, you know, if we lost everything and go back, whatever. And I said, so great. We'll start over. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I said, you know, sometimes when you lose everything, you're free to do anything.
I mean, right.
But the fact of the matter is that if that's the worst that could happen, right. You know, and granted, we are in a position where we don't really have a lot of people dependent on us. Either.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, mouths to feed and things like that, other than, you know, a dog and two cats, which they're important too. Yeah. We got to feed them too. But my point is that, hey, you know, if you don't, and like her brother also told her, he said, you know, you've got to take a chance on yourself sometimes, and you've got to go all in, and then you can't worry about the worst that could happen, because if it does, but at least you gave it everything you had.
That's right.
You know? And of course, you don't want to go into it, and I knew she wouldn't.
No.
And I knew at this certain point she wasn't right. Exactly. And she wasn't. And I knew if something shut it all down, then again, it wasn't meant to be. But it never did.
No.
You know?
No, it's going nowhere but up. I mean, when I was there, it was a revolving door. Yeah. And you know, your location is great.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
You're kind of, I guess you could say, by Blue Bayou, Watercross, but it's Old Perkins,
It's Perkins at Highland, Highland Park Marketplace, right across the street from Blue Bayou.
Yeah, it's a great location.
It's a great
brand
location.
new shopping center there.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was really all that.
That was,
she said, I found the location one day, and I was like, great, where? And I was like, okay, you know, and then it really, basically, she really never looked at anything else.
No, I knew. Even though it was new build out and new construction, and I knew it was going to be a while before it was ready, I knew it was the right place.
Great choice. Yeah. Great choice. Now, do you offer like a customer loyalty program of any kind?
We do. We do.
Yeah,
we do. We have loyalty cards, and when you come for 5 workshops. After that, the 6th workshop essentially should be free. The way it works is we take an average of the price of your 5 previous workshops, and you get that amount off of your 6. So in theory, it should be free. And that's not that many times. We have people that are almost at 5 already, and we've been open 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
it's awesome,
you know,
too. We appreciate their
we're
okay with that. Because we appreciate that loyalty.
Absolutely.
You talk about word, you talk about words, loyalty.
Yes.
You know,
that's huge.
You know,
it's huge
employee
in business,
loyalty,
especially.
You know, guest loyalty.
So you also, you know, you have these employees. We talked about this earlier, and how important they are to a business. You know, especially when you own your own business, your employees can make or break you real fast. I was ultra impressed with yours, and you said they had some experience. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, my manager again, Grace. She and I knew each other from high school, and she again, is a very talented artist. She is a musician. She and her husband are both musicians, very talented. I mean, she's just multifaceted talented. And she's beautiful to look at, and her personality is dynamite. I mean, and
she's a leader.
And she's a leader, and she balances me out. I have a good balance here, but I'm a little more introverted. I'm a little more hesitant to get on camera, social media. She is like the one. This. Yeah, I know,
You're
right?
Be everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, but she's the one that's like, let's get a picture, let's get a video. So she is, she's so great. And she had worked at a similar type place before, and just timing wise, it worked out that she was available. And it's just been a dynamite partnership. I really rely on her a lot. And just staff-wise, I mean, we have gotten, I won't call us lucky because I feel like we just made some really smart choices. But with, Stacy and Mallory and Cameron and Scotty and Caroline and Lori, I mean, it's been great.
When you, Miss John, I still call her Miss Johnson.
Yes.
And I told her, I said, I'll always call you Miss Johnson. 30-year retired art teacher from Broadmoor at the same school. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. She retired in March, and timing just worked out, and she is loves coming in, and she gets to be a little artistic still, but none of the management of kids
right.
anymore.
Yeah, but that's right.
Which I can understand. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just fun. It's a fun place to be.
Still students come in and see her.
Yeah. I mean,
from even when we were there.
Yeah. And it's, it's huge. It's employees, like I said, they can make or break you, and y'all have some impressive ones over there. Yeah. The most important thing when you walk into a new business is to feel welcome. Right. And I know I can speak for both of us, me and my wife, when I say that we walked in and everybody was nice. Everybody was patient with me. I'm a little ADD sometimes. So, they were very patient with me, which is a good thing. And I was very impressed with them. So feather in their cap, pass that on to them.
I'll pass that on. They'll be, because that is very important to me.
Yeah. So with every episode, I like to do fun facts kind of based off of whatever the subject is that I'm talking about. Now, you are a female business owner, and that needs to be recognized. And this has become more and more common these days. Wasn't Kelly, not a million years ago, women couldn't even vote. Couldn't even vote.
I know.
And now they're owning businesses and probably doing it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you a little fun fact about that, but in a lot of cases, they do it better than men.
I agree with that.
Which is not surprising to me. I think that women are more detail-oriented than men are in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I agree.
Except for me and Jimmy, of course. But, Forbes came out with the top 100 female business owners based off of their net worth. And I was pretty shocked to find out who some of these women were. Now, when I think of that, I think of Oprah Winfrey. She has to be number one, right? Believe it or not, she's not. She's number 4 on that list. Of course, she owns O Magazine and is a media mogul, and her net worth sits around $3 billion, that's a B, dollars a year. But number 6 on that list, we'll skip around a little bit, is Marion Litch. She is the co-founder of Little Caesars. $2.2 billion. Yeah. Who you would never guess who the number 1 is?
It's not anybody from the Walton Sam's. No.
Nope. Nope, because this is actual. Well, they do actually own it, but this is it's not them, but it's someone y'all are familiar with when I say it. The co-founder of ABC Catalog.
Okay.
And Supply. So the ABC catalog. Yep. Diane Hendricks, number 1 at $3.7 billion. I think my wife has spent over $3 billion in ABC. You know about that, don't you, Casey? Yeah. 3, that's, but I would have never guessed of all people, the ABC catalog lady.
That's
impressive.
$3.7 billion.
See,
so
you never hear that.
You're going to be on that list one day. We're putting you.
We're probably just a few more zeros
there, right?
Second place, probably. The AR ladies will be there. I'm telling you.
Look for the Anders and Ruff.
That's it. They're coming up. Great branding, and you ought to be very proud of your business, and I know you are, and I can see that. And I can see your passion, and I think you're doing a great job.
She really is.
So
phenomenal.
We already told everybody where they can find you physically, but give me your website and where they go on Facebook.
All right, hype man, this is you. This is your department.
My department,
AR Workshop on Facebook.
ARWorkshop.com.
ARWorkshop.com /Baton Rouge.
You got it.
Yep.
.com.
They got a beautiful website. It's actually very user friendly. You can click on it to get that calendar like we talked about, to book a class, the schedule,
project.
I'll be there date night coming up. I don't remember the exact date, but I'll be there. And so all of my listeners, y'all show up and all make stuff together.
People forget about the town that we're in, just in case, just go to ARWorkshop.com.
Yep.
Go to locations. Hit Baton Rouge.
And we're the only one.
We're the only one back there.
And believe it or not, this man sitting across from me is actually a Springfield boy. Yeah, so he's a Livingston Parish boy from born.
Right. From second grade to seventh grade. And then we always had a place out there down Blood River Road.
Yeah.
For the longest time. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm just excited that I have both of y'all here. Jimmy, did you have fun today?
I had a blast, bro. And I really did. And I wasn't surprised. And I'm not surprised. But yeah, I had a great time. And really, Jimmy, you have no idea what it means for us. For you to have us on here.
Well,
we truly appreciate it.
Really my pleasure.
And you and your wife can come and support us and get your listeners to support us. And we won't disappoint. I promise.
No, they won't. You'll have a great time. Trust me,
because we want the people. It really was important for us to come back to home and, Herbie Scotlandville Magnet. Don't forget. Nerd.
Smart girl.
But to come back home and to do this here. And to our friends, our community, and we want to be part of the rest of the evolution of this area. We want to be part of it. And it means a lot to us.
You will be. I think
people come support us, and we won't let them down.
Look, and once we grow that one, we'll move right over here to LP.
We'll be looking for
put one right there.
Right. Location 2.
I can see it now.
We're the only ones that can do it.
I love it. That's right. Obviously, I want to thank McHugh David for engineering this awesome episode. I want to thank Clint Sanchez of Black Sheep Creative for transforming my newly transformed website. I'm linking it to this episode also, so check it out. Miss Casey McMurray, who is in my background right now, she's my executive producer for keeping me in line. No easy task. Kelly Webster and Jimmy Miller of AR Workshop for joining me on Local Leaders, and all you viewers and listeners for your support. Folks, we did it again. We made Podcast Magazine's Hot 50 for the second time in 3 months.
Impressive.
Please keep spreading the word. We appreciate that. Thank you to all my sponsors. I could not do any of this without all of you. If you're interested in sponsoring Local Leaders, the podcast, or appearing on the show, please reach out to executive producer Casey McMurray at Casey@localleadersthepodcast.com, and she will give you all the information you need. Please follow me on social media and subscribe to my completely free YouTube at Local Leaders, the podcast. Until next time, I am Jim Chapman, reminding you to love your community, support local business, and keep leading. That's a wrap.
Nice.
Love it.
Beautiful. Man.
Yay.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.